So, folks, Bill Maher is a lot of things, and we have discussed a lot of kind of some good, a lot of bad things with Bill Maher. Bill Maher is obviously part of the neoliberal scumbags shows and hosts that are on television these days for the reason that he's still on television because he's a scumbag. But I give credit to the fact that he spoke out against the COVID mandates. He was like one of the only mainstream voices that kind of at least started to amplify that. But then there's a lot that Bill Maher is known and terrible for. And this, sadly, and this is like, I didn't even know about this, but this came to highlight because of a video I'm about to show you here of recent comments that he made on his podcast. But this is back in 2017, and I didn't even know about this. It says Bill Maher's comments supporting sex with young boys resurface amid Milo Yiannopoulos controversy. This is back in 2017, article done by Yahoo Finance, and this is in regards to this guy Milo Yiannopoulos. He was the influencer YouTuber that I forget the controversy surrounding him, but he was kind of like this right wing voice, and then he was gay, but then he announced that he reverted himself from being gay. He got, therapeuticized by I don't know the whole story about this, but um the fact that Bill Maher, like, and there's already a lot of gross things that Bill Maher is known for, but holy crap. Um the fact that I'm just knowing this now in 2024, this is back in 2017, is insane. Bill Maher's comments defending a sexual relationship between a teacher and her male student have come to haunt the real time host. The comments are especially controversial after Maher defended his HBO show's booking off right wing journalist Milo Yiannopoulos last week, then later claimed the credit for the man's downfall this week after a video surfaced of Yiannopoulos making comments appearing to condone sexual relations between younger boys and older men. The fallout over Yiannopoulos' comments include the Conservative Political Action Conference revoking his invitation to speak this week, the publisher Simon & Schuster pulling out of a planned book deal, and Yiannopoulos is resigning as a senior editor at Breitbart News. Maher has been criticized on social media for hypocrisy because of his previous comments about sex with minors. Maher's statements originated during a 1998 segment on Maher's former show, Politically Incorrect, on Comedy Central. In it, Maher defends the sexual relationship between Mary Lou Latourner, or Mary Kay Latourner, and a Seattle high school teacher and her former student, Vila Falu. I don't even know how to start pronouncing that. The relationship made national headlines because the student was 12 years old when the relationship began, and the teacher has become pregnant with this child. Holy. After serving time in prison, Latour and married in 2005. You know what? They'd be very, very welcome at France. Ah, you may get that joke, but maybe not. In the segment, Maher said Latourner has in prison because she's in love. She also said, I admit that's unorthodox. You think that 12 years old, 12 years old, has this kid, I don't think, did they even start teaching, sex ed at that age? Like, at 12 years old. Yeah, you think it's that's you admit that's unorthodox. That's it. That's all you just admit. Not how illegal it is, how it's perverted sex with a minor, that now you're pregnant with that kid's child and you're ugh. He also said that I admit that it's unorthodox. She's 35 and the boy is 14. He was younger when they started, but she is pregnant again. That the story was the story this week. This is the second child by this boy. They are keeping the mother in jail because she won't conform to what society feels should be the perfect American family. Maybe for the South, maybe Mississippi if you're in the redneck bootnik country. Oh my god. And I have heard, like, I try not to get involved in these stories because a lot of it is just gross and I just don't want to imagine how far this goes. I already know that there's, Jeffrey Epstein and the Lolita Express and going over the island and taking underage girls and boys over to the island and do that kind of, like, I don't want to further myself down that rabbit hole to expose even more grotesque things because this, like, to find this about Bill Maher and then what you're about to see in a second is just uh even more disgusting that he's still doing this to this day in 2024. This is back in 2017. And he meant this back in the late 90s that, well, I get that it's not typical that a teacher um, does it with a 12-year-old student. Like, I can't even comprehend for the sake of that child. That child can't even comprehend, you know, that matter. Like, I like they're barely learning their times tables, and now he is going to impregnate you. Like, no, no, no. And then Bill Maher says, well, she shouldn't be in jail because it wouldn't conform to society's, norms. What? What the hell are you talking about? Like, it's not like biblical times when you only live till you're in your 30s and then people got married off at like 10 years old. Like, we're far beyond that. We're far beyond that. But apparently Bill Maher wants to go all the way backwards to that. It's like, let's just do that. Let's just have incest back in the picture again. Oh, so this that got resurfaced because of what I found about this. And this is even more disturbing because this happened recently on his podcast show, Club Random, which now could just be called Club Creep. And this is 68-year-old Bill Maher interviewing these two young girls who I believe are part of some YouTube or TikTok influencer. Like, this is how Bill Maher is trying to connect with the youth. Like, he recently brought on the Hawk Tua girl and try to talk stuff with her, and it was just like, you're old, Bill. I'm sorry. I know people that age want to, they had this desire to be hip with the younger crowd, but no, just stop it. Like, you're 68 years old, go hang out with other 60-year-olds. Go hang out with former friends. Do not involve kids into this. Do not try to bring on kids and try to get that younger audience by, like, look, I'm friends with TikTokers. I'm friends with so and so. Hey, I like your shenanigans music. I don't know what the hell it is. I don't even know how to pronounce your name, but I like. But watch this conversation that just completely went off rails.
You're interested in like climate change, so you start looking on that. That's a big issue. I mean, your kids are worried about it for a good reason. Okay, climate. It leads you to weather. Then you're looking up stuff about the weather. Then it leads you to Stormy Daniels. All right, now you're into porn. Now you're into a porn site. What do? You
I oh god. I don't want to even know why he's having this conversation. I I mean, it's a short clip, so I can't really try to put the context together. I'm assuming this has to go something along the lines of like Bill Maher. Is this supposed to be positive internet censorship? Because one day your kids are going to go home, they're going to search, weather online. Next thing you know, they're going to watch porn. Like, oh, and you're telling this to, I don't even, like, you're 68 years old, you invite underage girls to your podcast and you're talking about them looking at stuff on the internet that's going to lead to porn. What are you doing? What are you doing, Bill Maher? What the hell is this? What the hell is this? You don't ever talk to children in this matter. You don't ever talk to children, especially like you're a stranger to them. So not only am I condoning Bill Maher for this, I'm condoning the parents that allowed their kids to go on this creeps talk show. Like, who's gonna let their kid go on to a 68-year-old friggin' podcast that they don't even know who it is? Like, this is not a kids show. This is not a kids platform. It's not Disney Channel. This is Bill Maher. Who in their right mind? What parent allows their kid to go onto a podcast with Bill Maher so that they can sit there and Bill Maher's talking about them leading to porn sites? And what are you going to do? Like, oh, God. No. 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 Oh. Like I said, this is why I don't want to know these things. I don't want to go down that rabbit hole. This is why I don't get involved in like any of this stuff because it's just that's just oh shivers down my spine. And again, it's hard to tell why he's even mentioning this. Like this is only a 18-second clip, but if I play it again,
You're interested in like climate change. So you start looking on that. That's a big issue. I mean, your kids are worried about it for good reason. Okay, climate. It leads you to weather. Then you're looking up stuff about the weather. Then it leads you to Stormy Daniels.
I don't understand any of the logic that he's trying to purvey here. So I was like, he's talking about how, well, if you're interested in climate change, you're going to look up climate change on Google, and that's going to lead to the weather. And then that's somehow going to lead to Stormy Daniels. And then that's going to lead to porn. Why is he even mentioning this? Why? Why is he even mentioning this? Because this is conversations that parents have with their kids. This is when parents come in and say, listen, there's going to be things on the internet that you're going to click on. It's going to go to other sites and it's going to lead you down other places. That is why, hey, as a parent, I put parental locks on certain websites on the internet so I don't have my kids go down that road. Or I don't allow them to watch, an HBO show at 10 o'clock at night, which is I'm already confused on why these kids are even on this goddamn show. Like, this is for old farts, uh, comedian. Like, this is not for children. Period. Period. This is not for young kids. Young kids do not ever go to some old senior citizen's basement for a pot. No. God. Oh my God. I just, why? Why? I'm disturbed. I'm disturbed. Like, I don't have kids of my own, but I'm disturbed for those kids. I'm disturbed that their parents allowed to do this. They brought them to his podcast show, and he just has a random freaking conversation about, hey, if you look up climate change, it's going to lead you to porn sites. Next thing you know, you're going to learn about anal. You're going to learn. And then on top of now this clip, and then the comments made about the teacher, like, again, this I don't even have words at this point. Like I'm already disgusted with Bill Maher. Before knowing about this, before even mentioning about any of this, I'm already disgusted that he is just he's a typical neoliberal Hollywood billionaire who's, been in the show business for how long. He doesn't give a shit. He doesn't care about anybody else. Like, I'm already disgusted by that. But on top of that, now he is, you know, emphasizing pedophilia as it's okay because it's not orthodox. I'm defending it because it's not orthodox, and I think that's hip. It's not the typical nuclear family that everyone wants. For a 35-year-old teacher to boink a 12-year-old student, her 12-year-old student, get impregnated by that small child that wouldn't even know how to comprehend pregnancy. And he defended that while going after because I'm sure it's because the fact that Milo Yiannopoulos is a right wing figure. So if a right wing figure is a pedophile, we gotta call it out. But if a left wing, as long as you have the same politics, as long as you're staying on board with the status quo, anything can happen. You can have the most heinous criminal, sinister mother effer on the face of the earth. As long as they stay in line with the status quo, it's okay with Bill. Um, and here's also this too. This is from, I forget what magazine this is from, but it says Bill Maher defended pedophilia in 1998 and in 2007. Now he's taking credit for Milo's downfall. So, 2007, that was an interview done by Playboy magazine where Bill Maher defended a pedophilic relationship between a Seattle school teacher and a 12-year-old student. So he brought that up to Playboy magazine, and and he's going after Milo, saying that he's, doing the right thing, even though for years he's defended that same nature. And I'm sure at this point, he's one of Epstein's clients. Like, I know that's an assumption. I can't prove that or set that in stone, but I'm pretty sure at this point, him and Epstein definitely had some connections. Because why else, Bill Maher has been show business on HBO and Comedy Central for a long time now. How else are you going to get in show business if you don't sell your soul out and your morals and dignity to the worst god awful people imaginable? Here's also this: Bill Maher accused of pedophilic grooming by multiple victims. This is back in 2017. 2017. And I'm just finding this out now in 2024, almost done 2024. Here's also this. This is even this is kind of disturbing to me. So Bill Maher, when he started to get successful and had a production company, did you know his production company was first called Kid Love Productions? As he was defending pedophilia in the 90s, his production company that broadcast his shows was called Kid Love. Until 2007, when he had that interview with Playboy magazine, that got out. People got skeptical of Bill Maher, and then all of a sudden he changed it to Bill Maher Productions. Does that not like freak you out? Is that not like a crazed sign? Like you know, it's just unbearable that it's amazing. Like all the signs were there, and we're just blinded to it till now. And I was even blind to this. Like I already was discussing with Bill Maher and so many other things, but now on top of this, I don't know what else to say. I don't know what else to say. Bill Maher, just a heinous neoliberal scumbag, continues to be a neoliberal scumbag, but now also a pedophilic creep. Um, and it's just heinous behavior on his behalf, and also those kids' parents. Like, I remember watching. I saw the documentary that came out, "The Quiet on Set," with all the Nickelodeon scandals and that. And the whole time I was watching that, the thought that kept coming in my head, because I know how my parents raised me, and maybe it's different for you, or maybe this is the same as how your parents raised you, but where the hell where was the responsibility on the parents' behalf when it came to their, like, you're gonna let your 13, 14-year old child star go to these adult parties out in, the valley or the hills or Malibu by themselves, and go to these adult parties with strangers to enjoy a good time. And then these stories come out, you hear these horrific scenes, and the child is, devastated and creeped out and victimized. Like, you hear all the stories and you wonder where the hell the parents were. Why the hell weren't the parents, like, if you're gonna have a party with a child star, the parents have to attend. I think that should be a golden rule. If the parents aren't allowed to come to this party, then that kid doesn't go. Period. That should be a standard. That should be the written stone. That should be one of the, that's the 11th commandment. Thou child star will not go to adult party without their parents, because this just continues on if they allow this to happen. Um, and that was the whole time I was thinking that. The whole time I was thinking that. And anytime that, I got invited somewhere to some function or anything with, other adults or people that weren't my age, younger or older, you know, especially being young, like, you always had some sort of guardian, some sort of parental figure that was able to watch over you to make sure you were safe. But like, again, I don't know what else to say. I don't know what else to say about this. I'm flabbergasted on how disgusting this all is. And on top of all the things that we know about Bill Maher, just add this onto the list. And now I just don't know anything at this point, and probably don't want to know anything at this point about so many other people. Um, some people that I actually, like and thought they're, decent people, and being connected with this. But anyway, this really just is astonishing that I'm hearing about this now in late August of 2024. And apparently this went under wraps for so many years.